Happy Monday and welcome. I'm Aneal Ramkasoon.
And I'm David Beebe.
This is the David Aneal Show.
And we're here every Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
So basically this is a show about business, relationships, kind of some life hacks. We kind of talk through it. It's not like we're preaching at you. We're kind of talking through things together because nobody has it figured out and we're trying to figure it all out and we want you to join the conversation. Breaking it down into 3 segments. Segment 1 is kind of our catch up, our recap of last week, and the hot topics of the week.
So we're gonna, what day? It's Monday. Gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's been a long weekend. It has been a long weekend.
Yeah.
Hope everyone's having a good Labor Day, of course. Yeah.
What is Labor Day?
So Labor Day was started, this is me reading because I have to actually look it up as well, was a celebration. It says without rituals except for shopping and barbecuing, of course, right?
Yes.
But it was actually started in the U.S. The first Labor Day was in 1882 in New York City under the direction of the city's Central Labor Union. And the idea was that workers, especially industrial workers, were working 78 hours a week.
Okay, wow.
So it really started the introduction of the idea of working Monday through Friday and 8 hours of work, 8 hours family, 8 hours rest.
Okay, so the balanced life, essentially.
Balanced life, which we know there really is none.
Yeah,
right
is
here.
No such thing.
It's always on 24/7, of course, with a show like this too. So now
well,
in Canada, though, hold on, I got Canada because Canada is different.
Of course, he has to make sure that he.
Actually, I don't have the Canadian when it started, but it's funny. I mean, it essentially means the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, the fun fact for me is that everybody's like, "Don't wear white after Labor Day. Don't wear."
See,
white
I don't
after
get that.
I'm
wearing white
research, and it's very interesting because it does go back to fashion. So basically, in the early 1900s, there was kind of this secret society, and it was old
Got our
money.
own Anna Wintour over here.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
There was old money and new money. And the old money, they had this like elite secret that you didn't wear white after Labor Day. And it was kind of like, you know, a code. So if you were new money, you would wear white after Labor Day and they would know that you were like new money. And then Coco Chanel was like, fuck all y'all bitches. And she started wearing white after Labor Day. So shout out to Coco Chanel. But that is kind of cool how it was like kind of like a high society secret. I feel like we don't have high society secrets anymore.
Well, I like to, look, I don't care. I'm going to wear what I want.
That's true. Yeah.
Like
We're
white,
both going to wear white tomorrow.
But don't wear white. Well, that's actually not true. White's hard to wear to a barbecue.
If you wear, like, this is the thing. If you wear white pants to a barbecue, you're getting ketchup or mustard on it.
I don't know how women do it in white dresses and like, Nina, how do you guys do that?
I don't wear white ever because I always.
You're like,
feel
I'm just a
sorry.
hot mess.
Yeah. In fact, my boyfriend the other day said, I really want to get you a pair of white pants. And I said, are you kidding?
Yeah, white pants are, no.
White pants are interesting.
That's really, really hard to do.
I can't.
What did you do for Labor Day?
What did I do?
Yeah, I think you went wine tasting.
I did. I went to Prince Edward County with Chris.
Had way too much wine.
I did. We visited 15 wineries.
Oh my God, that sounds like us.
In a day and a half.
Wine brings people together.
It does. But let's go back to our topic.
All right, let's get
Being your biggest cheerleader for your friends, your family, and your relationship. This is so important. This is how we get through life. It's by supporting and lifting each other up. And kind of before we kind of break it down, I think we have 5 kind of tips that we're going to talk through that are very effective in being a supporting human being on this planet.
And we want to talk about also, like, let's go back to the why before we get into the tips. That's so important. And while this is for, mainly for relationships or your partner, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever all the names are.
Yeah, titles don't matter.
This can really, it applies to anybody that you have a relationship with, whether coworker, friends, family, all of that. And so often what you see is, in new relationships, everything's of course great.
The honeymoon period.
Honeymoon period, or everyone's cheerleader, and then you start to get those little things that bother you about the other person, and it's like, why do you do that? Why, and you start to, and I think that's where a lot of the separation starts, and I think it's the same at work too. Someone starts at work, right?
Like fresh meat.
Fresh meat.
Yeah, no, like
they're thrown in.
Yeah.
But the idea there that they are, everything's new to them. Everyone's great. But same thing happens there, of course, right? That sometimes that teamwork starts to deteriorate. So it's important to understand. So that's what we're going to break down today and talk about that. Just one quick thing, while you guys are watching, you leave comments or questions in the Facebook live box there, and Nina grabs those and talks to us, and she'll throw some questions out as well. And if we don't get to your question, because we're starting to get more and more,
yeah, surprisingly,
we will answer them, online later afterwards.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first kind of concept is always when you're working with somebody, whether it be a partner, a coworker, a friend, trying to tackle something, you kind of remove the I from the situation and use the word we. You know what I mean? And we takes ownership as a team. You know what I mean? Like, for example, we should stop ordering Uber Eats as much.
Right.
You know what I mean? We should go to the gym more. We should, and it's that way you're working together to kind of tackle whatever it is.
Versus if you say you, the other person, it means they can take a defensive stance to it. Where it's like, oh, well, you're saying that, well, you would do it too, and it creates this argument and this debate. So that idea of collective we as a team, again, team in the house, team in the office, where it's that we need to do that. And that doesn't mean, of course, at work you don't need to address individual issues or whatever you need to do with someone that's working with you or for you on your team.
Yeah.
It's different, but the idea that you operate as a team. And I was taught this, at a very young age when I was in the Coast Guard. It's one of the first trainings that you do. You understand the value of a team, and that if every piece of that equipment essentially is not working in unison as a team, the entire thing fails. One of the the most scariest things there was, so you graduate high school and you think you're the shit, and so hot, and so as you prepare to go to basic training in Cape May, New Jersey. I was going in the summer, and you fly, and they pick you up, and then it's like 2 flights for you to take, and then they put you on this bus with about probably 50, 60 other recruits, and you roll into the training facility around 2, 3 in the morning. It's summer. It was foggy. It's dark.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the doors open. The bus stop's door opens, and these scary ass men and women get on and start screaming at you, and you get off the bus, and that's where you realize you're like, what did I do?
That's like a horror movie.
You get off, and part of it is, and they start to break you down essentially and say, we're going to retrain you to, your entire life you've been taught about you versus operating as a team. And they do break you down, and you go through that, and that takes a couple of weeks, and this is why basic training works, and you can start to see it. And after you are 8 weeks, you do operate as a team, because if one person fails in that team, the entire team is held responsible for it. And that's how it should be in relationships. You have people working together and working through things, and that's the idea of we need to do this.
Yeah, we. Removing I, using we, it really does make an impact. Yep. Our second tip is something that, I used to do really well off, but I kind of have fallen off of in terms of doing it as much as I do, and I need to step this up.
Gotta step up your game.
It's doing thoughtful little things more frequently, and it could be as simple as here's your favorite juice, or here's your favorite chocolate bar. And I used to go all in, because I used to think I was on The Bachelor, and I would if David was coming home, I'd have wine and wine glasses and flowers and a little note, and
Those were the days.
I would put love letters in his suitcase. I used to print photos, put them in his suitcase, mostly because I was if anybody goes through his bag, I'm the man.
And most importantly, when I got home, Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I would have Sour Patch Kids, and I would separate them by color.
Yeah.
Because I'm crazy, but I would always do cute little things. But you're right, I need to do that more, because you kind of forget about it. Honestly and truthfully, you're okay, I got the man, I got the ring, we good. But it's not. It's beyond that.
Yeah, in any relationship too, you apply that. You get comfortable, and then you start to get lazy. And there's those little things sometimes that spark back romance, or evoke. And so it's putting a card in the suitcase, and I find it when I land, and that's a big difference. Or coming home to a surprise, and it doesn't need to be. This isn't about spending a lot of money. It's not about trying to be over the top. It's really those little things that matter and make a big difference. It could be a handwritten note with a flower you stole from the neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. And
borrowed.
In the workplace, it's also really easy in the workplace. If you
Yep.
see somebody that's kind of down or they did a great job in the thing and they like Britney Spears, like print a Britney Spears meme and say, you know, thought of you and leave it at their desk. It could be very, very simple.
Right. If you live in Aneal's pop culture only.
I mean, a good meme printout keeps the day going in the
But it
office.
is true. Is your people on your team, people you work with, or just other people from different groups or organizations, you know, across the company. Those little things, again, remind people, hey, I see you. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, keep it up. And it's just a little tiny feedback. That over time builds up. Because if you're just doing, this is the thing that gets me. I'm going to get on my soapbox again. I'm not going to tap my pen like last time because I got yelled for doing that. And I just did. Is that, here's the problem in corporate America.
Okay.
Is typically in corporate America, you get an annual review.
Okay.
If you're lucky, you may get a twice a year review.
Okay.
Which is great, right? And so there's different schools of thoughts of, do we need reviews? Like, do you need to actually say it's 6 months and a year? Or why is it not just continual? Because if you're fucking up, let's be honest, like, does your boss really need to wait 6 months to like
Tell you that.
tell you? And the problem is, again, in corporate America, if someone is not performing or whatever they're dealing with, you know, they've got all kinds of things that they go through, but there's a process.
Yeah.
You just can't fire someone. So you have to like give them a verbal warning, and then you have to give them a written warning, and then you have to give them the written warning.
Yeah.
And it just, and that's where people get worn down because they have someone that's on the team that's not.
Yeah.
And it takes 6 months to, you know, ultimately have that person leave, and then it takes another 3 months to hire someone. So I think that feedback, and this is what this is, or other little things, is important to do continually.
Yeah.
Right? You should have some sort of review type of thing, and even in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
We do this as where like our sort of like whether it's monthly or whatever sort of check-ins and talk about things. That's key. Again, it shouldn't be like it goes back to communication, right? It shouldn't be like a you thing. Again, we. How are we doing?
Yeah,
That kind of
you
thing.
don't have to throw a Macy's Day Parade. It could all be so simple. The next one is just expressing a moment of gratitude, and it kind of goes hand in hand with our last thing about doing things thoughtfully. Just take the time, especially in your relationship, to, you know, thank the person, and expressing gratitude is a great way to kind of get self-fulfillment too. You know, when you express gratitude, you feel that much better. So just all around in your life, to all the people, call your mom right now if you haven't. You know what I mean? And take that time to express gratitude. It is so, so important.
In everything you do.
Everything, yeah.
Right? And also take the time to write down also in journals, right? What
Yeah.
you're happy for, what your challenges are, you know, every day essentially, and maybe for your partner or whoever you're thinking about is sort of that as well, because we all get caught up so fast in everyday things. We get on social media, everyone's playing their perfect life, and that's putting that best part forward, and then you start to get, you know, why am I not there, and FOMO, I'm missing out, and some things do, and you start focusing on all this negative emotion versus saying grateful for.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a great tip is to set your timer for 5 minutes and do a self-reflection. Just write, I am grateful for, I am happy for, and sometimes you can take the moment and share that with your partner, but setting your timer on 5 minutes, you spend 15 minutes lost on Instagram anyway, so just set a timer for 5 minutes, do a self-reflection, and watch your life change day by day. I challenge you to do it, and I really think that you will see like so much fulfillment in your day-to-day life. But
Nina's waving at us. She's got a question from you guys.
I do. I actually have a couple of
Oh,
questions.
wow, okay.
They're
Okay.
pretty good.
okay,
So this is going back to the we versus the I.
Okay.
okay,
And this is a question from David. David, you have another David
Okay.
okay.
on Facebook. What do you do when you are applying the we attitude in your work, but your coworker or coworkers are not reciprocating? How do I stand up for myself without losing my shit?
Wow.
Interesting. I think that one, communication always comes down to communication. If you talk to your team and kind of just say, hey guys, you know, this is my mindset. I want to adopt a we attitude. How can we come together and kind of all have a we attitude as well? And maybe put some feelers out. There's always somebody in the office that is similar minded, so maybe use that person as a soundboard to kind of, you know what I mean, be like, you know, I really am feeling this type of way, because a lot of times too, we perceive things and other people don't. They're so naive to the fact that, oh wow, I don't notice that David kind of is feeling a lack of motivation, and I love motivating people, so let me step up and motivate him. So start by communicating. Start by finding somebody, I think, in the workplace that you can talk to first, and communicate to your team. And don't lose your shit.
Don't lose your shit, which is easy to do, and oftentimes that comes from passion.
Yeah.
Right? It's not necessarily you're a bad person or whatever. You get so emotionally invested in something, and that's part of working in a team. Not everyone's going to see your way, or vice versa, you're not going to see their way. And this is where it goes back to, is there an absolute right way? I don't think there's, how do you do something? There's multiple ways to get there and meet to the same success, and that's where working as a team, that's where it's challenging, because you have one vision, someone else, but you're achieving the same goal.
Yeah.
So it's important. What's our goal to set out in everything that you're doing is, because then everyone knows, okay, how do we all get there as a team with all of our different talents? And the other thing is also think about that. What's the root of the problem?
Yeah. True.
Right? Like tracing it back. Maybe it's not that your coworkers aren't applying the we. Maybe there's something else going on. So it's evaluating that and discussing that. The other thing, speak up, right?
Yeah. Communication,
and because so many people want to bottle things in.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes I'll tell you this we thing or the credit thing comes from people feeling territorial, right? They want to showcase their work, and I think, look, everyone should be showcasing their work. This is all I do. I mean, I issue a press release if I go to the bathroom, but it's the idea, like, you have to showcase the team, showcase your work. Like there's a balance to it. But what I would tell people when I worked in the corporate world and my team was, look, all of us are replaceable.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody owns your job, your title.
Yeah.
You don't own that. It's not yours. And so it's about thinking about respecting your position, your seat, if you will, at that time.
At the table, yeah.
At the table, because someone was there before you, and someone's going to be there after you.
Yeah.
And it's about doing the best that you can do and give versus trying to say, this is me forever. Now, there's a trend now. A lot of people don't work places for that long. It's 2-3 years. It's not, This isn't corporate where you had a job for 20-30 years and you got your benefits and you retired. Now that still happens, and that's great, but people move around a lot more. So it's a good question. Okay, let's go back to our 5 tips. What are we on, number 4 now?
Number 4. And number 4 is basically to just kind of encourage your spouse as often as possible. There's going to be days where you wake up and it's a shitty morning and you don't want to do anything. And you just literally have to say something is like, you got this, babe, like power through, give them a motivation. Remember, we have date night Friday. It's just always about that motivation and constantly saying, we can do it, we got this. And saying it out loud to the person makes all the difference. Because sometimes you need the reminder, the verbal reminder.
Yeah, you need to be, how can they help you, right? And how can they motivate you? And there's a way to motivate someone, Neil was saying, where it's not a negative way, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need to do better at this, we need to whatever. And that way it's a collective and a group. You don't want to attack someone. How do you figure out how do you communicate and how do you help them, encourage them to get better? And oftentimes that's like, what else is going on, or what do you need to know about? And talking about those things, because ultimately that's going to have those breakthroughs to encourage each other and grow. Same thing, again, apply this at work. That encouragement of people, and all of it is just like, we're both big on energy and that, and I've got my rocks out there and they're recharging.
They're crystals.
They're crystals?
Oh, they're not rocks.
They're crystals. We got them in New Zealand. Shout out to Air New Zealand.
Yes.
We're working with them on a project. They're actually out in New York right now, and they're going to be heading out to Content Marketing World, which is in Cleveland. I will not be there this year. But New Zealand's beautiful.
Oh yeah, and Air New Zealand, their lay down bed service is honestly phenomenal.
It's really ridiculous.
And another way to kind of encourage your partner is it's a 3-step process. It's RLM. It's reassurance. RLM? You don't know about the RLM?
No.
RLM is just reassurance. Reassure them that if it's shitty, it's, today is a shitty day, don't worry, it's going to be fine. L is listen. I think a lot of times people don't take the time to sometimes people just need to vent. All the time. I just go off the rails and vent. I don't need necessarily the "don't worry, babe, it's gonna be okay."
Yeah.
I need just somebody to listen.
That's a super important point. Sometimes you need someone just to vent at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's something to communicate with your partner, or even a coworker or a friend. Is that oftentimes when someone's venting or comes off as complaining or whatever it is, they just need to literally vent and talk about it.
Get it out of there.
They're not looking for you to say everything that you were just talking about. They're not looking for feedback in that sense. It's just getting those feelings and those emotions off on that, making it relatable, and also just learning from each other.
Yeah, and I think the last thing, the RLM, is the motivate. Just, hit them with a, you got this, we can do it.
That goes back to that, what I was talking about, is that in this world of entrepreneurship, and we're both entrepreneurs and have got several different, projects and different businesses and things happening, is that there's this whole thing of a self-help, which has always been around, which is great. There's so many great people out there. But there's so many people out there talking about crushing it and hustling it and working 24/7. And there's different takes on that. My take is, yes, to get shit done, you need to work harder than the next person.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do. It's not, if you want to actually make a difference, if you're an entrepreneur and build something, you can't have the Monday through Friday mentality. At the same time, if you work 24/7 every single day, you're just going to burn out.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy either. So there's people, this is big growth on Instagram, all these people, hustle, work hard, and don't be out at the pool, and why are you, and you have to remember, you have to enjoy, first of all, take care of family first.
Yeah.
And that's what's the most important thing. Work, of course, is secondary, and everything else, and yourself. Right? That's taking care of yourself is key too. But there's so many people pushing this constant, you just work, hustle, which again, important, but you need to have that work-life balance, whatever that means to you.
Yeah. And I mean, to kind of round out our final 5 tip, and this one's important, and we say make couple time sacred, but it's not just in terms of couples. It's like, if you are having dinner with your friend, put your phone the fuck away. Tell your partner or whatever, I'm grabbing lunch with blank. It is so important to be present and make that time and that moment to kind of listen and hear somebody. You never know when your friends are going through things and hurting. And if you're constantly on your phone, and I used to be really bad at this. I would always be on my phone at dinner with my friends, and it's just rude. Take the time to connect, especially in this age of where it's really hard to connect and have a conversation now. It really is.
It's even more difficult. So there's a couple, you've seen people play the phone stack game. Everyone has to stack their phones, which works.
It really does.
And whoever takes their phone first has to pay for the bill. I think that's how it works for whatever. But you don't have to take it to that extent. What I try to do is, if I'm going into a lunch or a meeting or whatever it is with someone else, or a date or whatever it may be, is let them know up front and say, look, I'm expecting a call that I need to step out for if it comes in, or I'm expecting a message from my wife, husband, partner, or work, because there's something happening. So, I just want you to know, kind of thing. I'm not ignoring you if something, I'm just going to look type thing. Yeah. Just let them know. And then it's resolved, because all of our time, we live in this world where time is the most valuable thing we have, right? And we're just fragment of all this content on screen, including our show. Hopefully you like it. David Aneal Show on Facebook.
Every Monday.
But that idea, think about social media can wait.
It all can wait.
Your email can wait.
Just be present in the moment.
The world's worked so far.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other show. But anyway, point is, everything's, here's the thing. Things are going to move along with you or without you.
Yeah, it's true.
So you can wait an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. If you want to take photos, of course, that's fine. I just think, your point, that idea of that time. But also is also just creating time.
Yeah, taking the time to carve it out.
To say that, have a weekly
date. See, for us, it's hard for us to do a weekly date night, because you're just all over the world. But we always make sure that when you are here, we carve the time out to be together and do something.
It's about taking that initiative to do that, versus, it doesn't have to be every Monday night, or it doesn't have to be every Tuesday. Things are going to move around, but you're taking the initiative to carve out time and activity, trying something new together, whatever it may be. That keeps things fresh.
Here's a cute date idea. Every Monday night, you should sit down and watch the David Aneal Show. There we go.
So you're becoming it's good.
It's good.
You're like P.T. Barnum over here. P.T. Barnum
This is your
Jr.
date night. And it's really cool because all this stuff, it's actually kind of the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that couples that kind of celebrated kind of wins in life and accomplishments had that much more success. It was like a higher success rate. And that's really important that just people forget about it. Like, oh, I'm up for a promotion. You got to motivate that person, keep them hustling. It's little things, making sure their breakfast shake is ready. And when they get it, celebrating the win. And these are like the happier couples in the world.
Because you would have done it during those first couple of months of dating.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. When you're trying to still
When you're trying to impress that person,
that's,
you do anything. And then 3, 4, I don't want to.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Lazy.
But now we're gonna kind of go into.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Pikula Picks, or we have another
We
question.
have one more question. I'm gonna do Pikula Picks. Okay.
Okay.
It flows right into this. How do you keep your relationship exciting after the honeymoon stage? And this is my favorite. Is it okay to keep secrets from your significant other in order to keep some mystery alive in your relationship?
Interesting.
I think
well, we talked about kind of how you keep it alive, right? It is something new. It's those little surprises. It's a date night. It's just surprising. It was those little tiny things that can make a big difference. And it goes back to again that it's not about what it is. It's that effort.
Yeah.
It shows that you took the effort to do something, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that counts, because to just tell someone you're thinking about them, right?
Yeah. And I think that in terms of like keeping things secret and hidden, it's cool if it's like a surprise and there's like a purpose behind why you were like keeping that secret. Like for example, when like I'm like basically when I got the Canadian Screen Awards, we got the accreditation for Thirst. Like I was like keeping it a secret because I was like so excited to share it with David and kind of surprise him as like a proud accomplishment and stuff. And it's kind of makes it more exciting to kind of.
I mean, you launched a whole podcast that covers pop culture in Canada, and
Yep.
3 months later, you're covering all the big award shows and interviewing everybody. I mean, and that's the thing. It goes back, this is not necessarily in this week's topic, but taking that initiative to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So important. And in this world, we have that opportunity to do that now.
Yeah.
It's like you can create whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. It create the environment you need to be in to get it done. So Aneal, with your hosting you do and writing and the leadership development stuff and the events, it's like you didn't wait for someone to come to you and say, hey, do you want to do a podcast about pop culture?
Yeah.
You created the podcast, you created the brand, and then you hosted it and you put the work in, and you didn't get paid for it back then. You just did the work and showcased your talent, showcased the show, and now people are interested in it, and that's, I think too many people wait for opportunities to come to them.
No, and it won't come. It really won't.
And you've got to put out in there you got to put out in the world what you want, but then you also have to find steps to work for that. Nothing is going to just land on your lap anymore today.
Yeah, and I think, when I was kind of talking through this idea and we were vetting through it, I talk about a football analogy that might not land, but I'll run you through it really quick.
I want to hear you explain a football analogy, please.
Essentially,
do you know? Okay, what kind of ball do they have on the football field?
A football.
Yeah, but what's it look like?
It's I've thrown a football.
How many yards are there?
I don't know that many things.
How many?
1 yard, one big
yard.
1 big yard.
Ladies and gentlemen from the news. ESPN over here.
I should be a sports commentator.
1 yard. 1 big yard.
1 big yard.
With a lot of small little yards.
Exactly, yes.
Right.
But my kind of football analogy is that in order to be an effective cheerleader, especially in your relationship space and partner, you have to have somebody to cheer for, which is usually the quarterback. But if the quarterback, you have to be a good quarterback, so it's like we're cheering for. Does that make sense?
That's why you have cheerleaders.
Yeah, but when you're out making a play, right, I'm going to cheer you on. When you make a bad play, I'm still going to be cheering for you.
Right,
as
but
a
learning
quarterback.
from that.
And it goes back and forth.
Right.
You have to be a good quarterback and you have to be a good cheerleader, and you should be able to wear both hats in your relationship.
I agree.
Me and football.
Next week, Aneal will break down baseball.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, maybe each topic I should bring a sports reference analogy. That's a great idea.
Yeah, expand your world.
Segment number 4, Aneal in Sports, will be starting next week.
Maybe you should start your own sports show.
I think I should. Okay, so are we ready for?
We're gonna go into our third, the final segment of
the
show,
my favorite because
which is our fun part.
It's Nina's
segment.
Nina,
but Nina, it's called Pikula Picks. And we're dive in and talk about some other stuff coming up this week, and then next week's topic.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go have a Labor Day barbecue, I think.
I'm super excited.
So Nina, what's our Pikula Picks?
I just want to say I was in a corner dying during that little exchange that you guys had.
One yard. One big yard.
Just 1 yard.
So the Pikula Picks, we're gonna take a little twist this way.
Okay,
This
Pikula
week.
Picks.
I wanted to know some things that you guys do, and I've known you obviously in the workspace and in your personal lives, but this is a question coming from me.
Okay.
Oh, Pikula Pick from Pikula. And the reason it's called Pikula Picks is because it's Nina Pikula.
Yep.
Look her up on Instagram or Facebook.
So
Though she has a boyfriend, so don't
do.
try to
I'm
slide in the
involved.
DMs. That's what they say.
Involved.
Slide
She's an
in.
involved woman.
Slide in her DMs.
Okay,
Somebody
what's
will
the
come after
question?
you. No sliding in those DMs.
What's the question?
So my question is, what are 3 things that you as a couple prioritize in your relationship in order to, like, you know, it could be like, hey, we have dinner every night at 5, or these are the 3 things that
We're
we
not
have.
senior citizen specials, you know.
Okay. I was thinking about my parents, sorry.
5 p.m. dinner, come get the cowbell.
What are the 3 things that you guys, that has really helped you guys develop your relationship? You know, how far you guys have come, and why are these 3 things so important to you?
Lots of wine.
No, I think one. I think I know my 3.
Oh, okay.
One is a TV show, and I know it sounds stupid, but if you
That's a good
find
one.
a
It's a good
show that you both like,
Yeah.
it kind of keeps you. Like right now, we're on Ozark, Killing Eve, and Power, but we're able to watch an episode and kind of talk about it and dissect it. The second one is we love.
Well, let's go back to that one because that's important. Because
TV.
also, especially if you don't like the same shows.
Yeah.
So Aneal watches a lot of Real Housewives of every freaking country, city, county there
Every
is.
English-speaking country.
Well, no. You also watch Real Housewives of what's the one with the accents and
Sydney,
Sydney,
Australia,
Australia.
Melbourne,
Another beautiful place.
Cheshire.
Anyway, and then a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, some fashion runway, like all these things. And I don't I get it. They're fun, but I'm like CNN documentary.
Yes, CNN on all day. It is the most nauseating thing. But anyway, continue.
I don't usually CNN. I also watch Fox News. That's a shout out for my mother and Randy if they're still watching
my
this show because they like to watch Fox News. I watch all of it. That's another thing. I think you should try. It's not about one channel. You need to fascinating everything in the world. Look at all these different websites. You get different points of views, right?
Yeah, E-News.
Super important. So his is E-News. But find that one show that you can watch, and it's hopefully on Amazon or Netflix, and you can sort of binge watch them.
Yeah.
And that you both bond over and like. It's
Yeah,
a good one.
And it took a moment to kind of find what show. Like I'll be like, ooh, I love this show. We're watching this, and he's like, no, I'm not watching.
So what are our top shows right now?
Killing Eve,
Killing Eve, Power,
and Ozark. So Power
Ozark.
is our bedtime show because like
Yeah.
I like to fall asleep to it because it's like
true.
you don't really need to pay attention. Killing Eve and Ozark are like our focus shows.
Right.
Phones are away. We're really engaged. The second thing I think is find a similar passion. So we have a similar passion. We love to eat out. Like we love trying new food and trying new restaurants. So we'll take the time to try new restaurants. But I don't know, like we talked about this, doing tennis together, right? Playing tennis in fall. So finding a similar passion would be number 2. What's number 3? I don't know. 3 things that we prioritize?
Well, maybe the surprises. That's the thing. Like you gotta be able to. But we also have. I mean, we prioritize we actually prioritize like meeting and just talking and what's going on and what each other is working on and how, how can I help you? Because Aneal works. A lot of the different talent that's a part of the management group. Like Aneal helps out when I'm traveling and doing things. And
Yeah,
so
I guess we do prioritize
it's gotta
work.
prioritize work, right?
Yeah.
It's that thing. So it does have that working because we do a lot of work together on the football field.
I'm like, I don't know what we do together. Yeah, we work together. So find a
Yeah.
passion. We work together, so that's a priority for us. And then
Food actually
TV.
is and cooking, because I love to cook, and Aneal. So I grew up cooking, and my mom and dad, and
you are a great cook.
You can give me anything like raw ingredients, and I can make something delicious out of it. If I wasn't doing my career, I'd probably be a chef.
Yeah, but you say chefs don't make enough money.
Unless you're Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Unless you have a career. And look, not that they don't make enough money. That sounds really bad. See, now you make me look bad. This is what he does. It makes me look bad. It's not that chefs don't make enough money. If that's your passion, then great. It's not about the money.
Yeah, true.
For me, what I think he means to say is you cannot sustain the lifestyle I like on that salary.
Yeah,
but I love what I do too. So it's not, look, I can make a lot more money. I'd love to make a lot more money, but I love what I do. So it's you grow, you know.
A chef can't accommodate my lifestyle and my needs. I'm joking.
That's true.
Okay, do we have another
sliders?
pick?
His Gucci sliders say
No,
he's wearing Gucci sliders with white socks. Apparently that's a thing.
Do you not see that pitch of Kim and Kanye with him in the suit and the sides of the socks?
I love that picture.
No, that's what he wore today. We went to our friend's house, Liv's house. Liv had us over for. There's an air show that happens, and so we went over to her beautiful place over on the water, which I love the water. I connect with the water.
Yeah, you were like
lots of great friends. We watched the air show with Liv. She gave you a necklace thing. What happened to that?
I can't pull out the necklace when I don't have the necklace.
Oh,
I might have broken the necklace.
It broke.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to throw, but I was trying to throw them in the water fountain. But anyway,
yeah,
what did it say?
What you're gonna say. Oh, I was trying to throw him in the water fountain. The necklace broke. It sounds like we're like children in the park.
We basically are. Anyway, Liv is wonderful. We love her. She's just fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Loves hospitality. I love hospitality. We love to hang out with her.
And
so
she takes
we
the
will
moment to
get the
connect.
necklace and we will post it.
Yeah, and she takes the time to connect and be a friend and cheerlead on and do check-in. You need to be checking in with your friends and cheering them on, whatever it may be. Okay, do we have another Pikula Pick?
Pikula Pick, or are we going to
wrap it up or teasing next week?
I think we're going to tease next week because we're going to talk about fall, and I, for one, I always get really anxious during this time, especially with kids going back to school.
This is what Labor Day is about. It tells you that summer is over, back to school, back to work.
I thrive in the fall. I have so many planning tips to share with you guys. It's going to be kind of an effective way to kind of plan out this end of the year. And I know it sounds stupid. You got to start thinking about kind of what you want your 2019 to look like. And you can use these next 4 months to kind of shape your perfect 2019.
It's like quarterly planning.
Yeah.
It's like in corporate America, this is you got to use these 3 months to plan 2018. So we're going to talk about fall or 2019.
2019, yeah. I want to call it Don't Fall Behind Effective Planning. How cute.
This is why we have writers who actually write things for us.
Yeah. So we'll see you next week.
On that football field. So it's going to be about fall, planning, getting back to school, getting back to work, being motivated.
Yep.
Not necessarily slacking off during the holidays, because what happens in a lot of places is September, everyone comes back strong. October, November, I think. Get in November, everyone gets lazy.
Yep.
Then it's December. Then you start to eat, and then it's January, and then it's everyone's back in the gym mode, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get you set up to tackle these.
So we're gonna talk about handling fall, juggling all of life's things, the holidays, because that's a whole stressful thing. That's gonna be another episode into the new year, and that's it.
Yeah. So this is the David Aneal Show. We do this every Monday. Check us out next week to see Don't Fall Behind.
Don't fall behind. All right. Have a great week, everyone. Kick ass.
Bye, guys.
See you next Monday.